I just went down a Meghan Markle rabbit hole. I don't know how I got there, but I learned a lot. Let's talk about it. So I guess there's been like a lot of feedback about her Netflix special, With Love, Meghan. The feedback is that she lacks authenticity. Now, prior to me getting into that section of the rabbit hole with the Netflix specials, I had just watched clips of, I guess, this interview that she did with some weird white lady that was doing this. So maybe I'm biased, but I felt like she was very relatable. I felt like this is someone who just wants to live her life just as a regular person should, and who cares about what she does, and the output that she's putting out. Now, prior to that, I had watched, what started all of this was some random clip had popped up, and it was 11-year-old Meghan Markle. And 11-year-old Meghan Markle, it was she was on the news talking about how she wrote a letter that got the dish detergent company to change their ad so that it wasn't just exclusively mentioning women when it was mentioning washing dishes. It was making it, anybody can wash dishes because that's not just a woman's job, right? This was 11-year-old Meghan Markle. And this is my point. This girl was 11 years old and did something to make an impact. And then did this interview talking about the reason she did it was to make an impact. This is good grooming. This is good pedigree. This is a family that did what they were supposed to do with their child, right? Because then you grow up. Meghan Markle, I was first introduced to her on Suits, because that was my girl. That was my show, and that was my girl, right? So then when she reappeared, and it's like, oh, you're a princess. What? This is where we get into the haters, right? Because the reason that y'all are mad is crazy. White women are mad that a black woman gets to be a princess. Because literally that was supposed to be like the last place that it was safe. You know what I mean? But black women, the black women that are mad at her, right? Candace Owens, I'm talking to you, girl. I'm talking to you, girl. You're mad that when you do decide to dive on the other side of the ocean, ditch Jamal and get you a Jake, you realize Jake still works at State Farm. So you're also mad that a black woman gets to be a princess, not realizing this is a planned child. A planned child. She was 11 years old and wrote Procter Gamble to have them change their commercial because it was sexist at 11 years old. She then went on to become the first black princess just because she met some random white guy and fell in love. Carefully crafted and intentional. All right, so circling back to the show. What's the show called? With Love, Meghan. Because what is she doing? She's doing this show. And how is she doing it? With love, Meghan. What is she doing on the show? What is she doing on the show? She's simply doing her. With love, Meghan. And what are y'all doing? I'm not going to do that. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're all up in her life. Meghan, what you doing? Girl, what you doing? Girl, what are you doing, girl? Get a life. You know what? Get yours. Get your life back. Get your life back. Get your life back. Get off the internet. Get off the internet and get your life back. And live your life with love. Period.
Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, hosted by Adrian. Now hold up. Did you just go down a Meghan Sussex rabbit hole and come out baptised in common sense? You didn't just find fact, you found the holy grail of clarity. You, my friend, found peace, purpose, and a Procter Gamble receipt from 1993. And just like that brave TikToker said, get your life back. Yes, we're starting with that because it's the spiritual awakening we've all been waiting for. Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales. I'm your host, Adrian, your weekly source for truth, spice, and unapologetic Sussex love. And today, we are dragging with purpose. Because Gobari just gave the internet a verbal exfoliation it didn't know it needed. And Candace Owens? Sis caught the smoke and the skillet. Let's get into it. Apparently, Gobari woke up, chose clarity, brewed a pot of green tea and said, I'm done with the lies, done with the frothy foam. The British press has been spewing for 6 years straight. Done with the obsession. And honestly, same. Because somewhere between Meghan making avocado toast and Meghan reading to babies in an actual sweater, not a tiara, not golden-crusted Louboutins, the world lost its collective mind. And Gobari? Gobari just pulled the emergency brake on this runaway train of delusion. And you know what triggered this awakening? A letter written by an 11-year-old girl who knew a dish soap commercial was sexist and said, "Not on my watch." At 11. While most kids were out trading Pokemon cards and learning their times tables, Meghan was checking capitalism and patriarchy in one handwritten letter. But y'all want to call her manipulative? Baby, please. Let's go back before the tiara, before the palace gates, before the world's weirdest family reunion on live television. There was Meghan Sussex, actress, advocate, ambitious woman. And yes, ambitious is now a slur if you're a black woman who dares to dream in Technicolor. Gobari said what needed to be said. Meghan didn't stumble into greatness, she was raised for it. Her mom, her dad, her teachers, they weren't just raising a daughter, they were sculpting a legacy. And that legacy terrifies people who can't even show up on time for a ribbon cutting. Let's be real, you mean to tell me a woman can sip green juice in California, wear linen, cuddle chickens, raise 2 babies, mind her business and still trend in the UK more than the actual royals? Make it make sense. Seriously, Harry and Meghan leave you all alone, and somehow every other headline is still, "Meghan breathes public panics." Let's pause for a truth bomb. Meghan's sin isn't inauthenticity. It's audacity. Audacity to walk into the most exclusive, most unwelcoming, most institutionally racist space and say, "Yeah, no, I'm still going to be me." That part, she didn't tone it down. She didn't water it down. She didn't trade her black girl magic for royal blandness. She gave them, with love, Meghan. And instead of saying thank you, Brenda started twitching. Gobari nailed it. This isn't about documentaries or titles. It's about the rage people feel when a black woman is excellent without their permission. And here's the thing. Meghan didn't ask for your approval, she just was. And then comes Candace. "Oh, Candace, sweetheart." Gobari dragged her like a carry-on through Heathrow. "Let's talk about it." Somehow Candace thought she could leap over the colour line, do the Dougie on white supremacy's front lawn, and find Prince Charming. Instead, she ended up with Jake from State Farm and a kitchen that's never seen paprika. And now she's mad. But instead of being mad at the system, at the lies she bought at the mirror that shows her regret, she chooses to be mad at Meghan. Meghan, who did everything Candace claims to stand for: family, success, empowerment, class. And guess what? Meghan did it in a tiara and a trench coat. Gobari didn't mince words. Be mad at your choices, don't be mad at the blueprint. Let's rewind again to 11-year-old Meghan. She wasn't clout chasing. She wasn't fame hunting. She was impact making. And that same spirit carried her into adulthood. From Suits to Sussex, from Hollywood to Windsor to California, her story is not a Disney fairy tale. It's a case study in grit, grace and greatness. And what are the haters doing? Sitting in the basement with Cheeto dust on their fingers typing, "I just don't like her." Why, Brenda? Because she moisturizes? Because her curls don't frizz under pressure? Because she told the truth on Netflix and didn't cry for your validation? That's not dislike, Brenda. That's projection. That's jealousy in a Facebook filter. Now let's really unpack the press. The UK tabloids, that unholy alliance of outdated opinions, recycled scandal and caffeine-fueled bitterness, have spun more fiction than Game of Thrones, but with worse endings. Gobari made it clear Meghan's biggest threat wasn't her skin colour or her voice, it was her freedom. Freedom to choose, to leave, to live, to thrive. And that, my friends, is where the rage bubbles over, because the system isn't built to accommodate self-respecting, independent black women. It's built to devour them or dim them. And when Meghan walked away and said, "Nah, I'm good," the machine malfunctioned. The world, especially those bitter baby boomers clutching pearls and Daily Mails, lost their collective minds. And the worst part? It's the black women like Candace who chose the other side, who saw a sister winning and said, "Nope, that ain't it." Candace isn't confused. She's complicit. Because it's one thing to be mad, it's another to try and tear down someone who's winning with the values you preach. Meghan's love is authentic. Her story is intentional. Her wins are earned. She's not just a black princess, she's a blueprint. She's what happens when purpose, passion and parenting align. Gobari's rant wasn't petty, it was prophetic. So let's circle back to that TikToker's final words. Get your life back. Get off the internet. Stop doom-scrolling Meghan's name like it's your daily vitamin D. Stop analysing her nails, her eyebrows, her maternity photos, her children's birthdays. Stop acting like she owes you an apology for being whole. Go live your life. With love, like she does. Because while you're pressed, Meghan's booked. While you're salty, she's shining. While you're bitter, she's baking, with Archie's hand in one and Lily's crayon drawing in the other. Let's end on this. Meghan Sussex is not your scapegoat. She's not your punching bag. She's not your royal projection screen. She's a woman who stood in the lion's den, told her truth, walked out with her crown intact, and built a kingdom of her own. And to that, I say, Gobari, thank you for the sermon. Candace, thank you next. Meghan, thank you for being exactly who you are. With love, I'm Adrian. And this is Meghan and Harry Tales. If you've enjoyed this truth bath, go ahead and comment, and smash that subscribe button. Hit the super thanks, show some love on PayPal. And let's keep this platform thriving and these truth bombs dropping. Until next time, stay unbothered, stay moisturized, and stay living with love and a little drag.